So now for some of the basic pieces. We want to give you 10 tips for preparing your current 8th grader for high school. This list started with dozens and dozens of tips, so we've tried to narrow it down to 10 to encompass some of the ones we think that will be most important for you and your current 8th grader. Number 1 is finish strong. One of the best ways you can prepare for high school is to make sure the next 4 months of your child's 8th grade year are what they need to be. If they're currently struggling, a little bit off track, we need to get them on track now. There won't be a magic switch that we flip over the summer to go from struggling through some things in the 8th grade year and all of a sudden be successful at 9th. Every day prepares for the next one, so make sure that they're on track now, doing everything they can in preparation for next year, especially from an academic standpoint. Number 2, carefully select appropriate classes. This is a real critical piece. In the next few weeks you'll be receiving your course selection information, and a lot of that we're going to cover today, at least some of the overview of that. And it is important that you take some time to go through that document, through the EPG, and select a set of classes that's appropriate for your child. As Dr. Smith mentioned, not selecting courses based upon what our friends are selecting or levels of courses based upon that, because we're going to take those courses and build a master schedule around that. So we need that when you turn it in to be what you're planning to go with for the fall and spring semester of the 9th grade year. So please take some time, ask questions. We know that there'll be lots of questions, especially this year, and do the best we can to develop a plan for your child. Number 3, develop effective study habits. If currently that's an issue and your child does not have effective study habits in the 8th grade, that problem will be magnified in high school with more homework and more rigor in the classroom and with the material that they'll be learning there. So work on that now, getting the study time in the evenings and getting that homework done on a daily basis and not letting it snowball on them. Number 4, get connected through school activities. We always encourage you to connect in some way. Could be athletics, could be fine arts, some CTE programs. There's a wide selection of student clubs at the high school. Get connected in something that you're interested in. Just make sure that you're maintaining a balance and that you don't overcommit to too many organizations and too many activities. Number 5, maintain good attendance. There's obviously a strong correlation between academic success and actually being at school in the chair. So make sure that you have a plan for success in regards to attendance and that that is consistent for your child. Number 6, utilize tutorials early and often. I would strongly encourage you not to wait till the 9 weeks report card hits and those grades aren't quite what we might want them to be to start attending tutorials. Regular tutorials are available at every high school campus. Ask questions early and often of your teachers. Get that help before you dig that hole, because it's always harder to get out of that hole after. So don't hesitate to take advantage of tutorials. Number 7, develop a 4-year plan. This goes right along with selecting those courses for this year, and some of the details you're going to hear from Ms. Thomas a little bit later. Every student's going to have a 4-year academic plan. And we want you to plan each year with the end in mind as much as possible. So have that long-term plan, have those discussions with your current 8th grader. Number 8, know the rules. If you're currently in CCISD, most of the rules as far as the code of conduct are the same at the high school. There's always a few differences. But more than anything, we want you to be able to focus on academics, not just next year, but also this year. And so don't let yourself get distracted because we've got too many tardies or we've got dress code issues so we're not in class because we're having to deal with those. Know the rules, abide by them, and hopefully that will help translate to some academic success also. Number 9, as I mentioned, this morning is just one piece and one meeting. There's no way we can give you all the information that you would need to prepare for next year, but there's many other opportunities. I really encourage all incoming 9th graders to attend fish camp at their respective high schools. That gives the students a chance to tour the building, kind of get to know their way around. They get to meet some other kids. Usually there's some fun activities planned. And that gives them a look at the high school before the first day. Hopefully takes away some anxiety from that first day and that first week. New student orientation will be coming up in the fall at all campuses. There'll be information nights, course fairs. Be as involved as you can in those pieces, because there is an enormous amount of information that you'll need to start your 9th grade year. And more than anything, number 10, get off to a good start. This kind of goes along with not waiting until the end of the 9 weeks to start going to tutorials. Those first 2 to 3 weeks can make a big difference, how you get started for the long haul. It's much easier to get off to a good start and maintain it than to get off to a rough start and try to turn that around at 9 weeks. And sometimes that's difficult for an incoming 9th grader, especially if there's not some routine study habits and things already in place. So I'd encourage you to work with your current 8th grader on these 10 things, and as always, let us know if you have questions on those and how we can help. And of course, this is just the perspective from the assistant superintendent. If you don't believe me, we brought along a resident expert. We have Christy Scott, a current senior at Clear Springs High School, who is obviously in the last semester of her high school career and has been living this recently. So she's got a little bit of advice to share with you and your current 8th graders.
Well, on my very first day of high school, August 30th, 2010, I was extremely nervous to enter high school. There were so many things running through my mind, like there was tons of people, random people that I didn't know, and I just didn't know how to feel. I was so nervous. As I was walking towards the stairs, the thought of just act cool, maybe nobody will notice me, just act cool, kept running through my mind, until I tripped up the stairs and then walked up into the wrong classroom. And I thought it was the biggest deal at the time. I was so nervous and I was so embarrassed. That little instance of embarrassment ended up being funny later. And although it was really embarrassing at the time, all of these moments make up what high school is. We're all growing. We're all in the same boat. We're all worried about what others are thinking. We're worried about grades, and we're worried about keeping up with our parents' expectations. From my experience, paying attention to grades as a freshman is extremely important. Whenever you sign up for a pre-AP class, you need to realize that with pre-AP classes and AP classes comes tons of homework. Not only is your daughter or son going through a huge transition, they're also, in these pre-AP or AP classes, they're also being pushed really hard. And the pressure is even more intense. Also, the good thing about pre-AP and AP classes is that whenever you're in these, that actually boosts your grade point average significantly. And there's also a huge possibility that the next day, after you've done so much that one day, there's a big possibility that you can have 5 or more tests in one day. So studying is crucial. It's tough, but it's definitely maintainable. Also, one of the greatest things that I've learned in high school is that when you're put in a new situation, take advantage of it. Something that helped me freshman year was getting involved in new things. You get to meet new people, and it helps you get a step in the door before everyone else. It helps you meet new people, new teachers. Getting involved, as in joining clubs, really helps. Freshman year, I think I was in a total of 11 different clubs, along with pre-AP and AP classes. It was definitely difficult, but I maintained it, and freshman year was my best year out of all of the high school years, because I was involved in so much. And I got to experience so many new things, like football games and just all kinds of things. It was really exciting. Time management is extremely important whenever you're doing all of these as well. You could, if you're in theater, you could be in rehearsals, musical rehearsals, until about 9 or 10 o'clock, and you have homework, and you have 3 tests the next day. You just have to keep calm and carry on, because it's tough. I mean, there's a list of things that I could tell you, but there's nothing that stands out the most, even as a life tip, as try not to compare yourself as a student. Comparing yourself really can bog you down. Everyone always says, don't compare yourself, but you really see it come into play whenever you're in high school. With the competition of class ranks, with the competition of officer elections, and other obligations, students will definitely begin to compare themselves, and it'll take a toll. Just try not to. Whatever you do, try not to. If you notice your son or daughter acting differently, try to ask them about it. Even though if they don't admit it, they definitely do want to tell you about their day, good or bad. If you forewarn teachers as well of what's going on at home or in school, they'll be more understanding and more lenient. And it'll give your student another adult to talk to on campus, and that can be really, really important. So high school is good, but better yet, CCISD is the greatest. It's just a given. Freshman year is only 1/4 of your entire life, and high school experience is only 1/20 of your entire life. So try to tell your student to make it the best 1/20 of their life. Thank you.
Thank you, Christy. Christy's just one of our outstanding shining stars from CCISD, and she has done a great job of preparing for each day, and that's one reason she was a great candidate to speak to our current 8th graders today. And if you're sitting here right now, 8th graders, just think, in 4 years, if you do it right, you get to hold the microphone and speak to that next group of 8th graders. So if you need something to put out there as a long-term goal, maybe that's one thing that you can do. Next, we're going to move on to an overview of our CTE program and the endorsements that are coming along with House Bill 5. So I'd like to introduce our Director of Career and Technical Education, Ms. Dana Morgan.
Good morning. Just to clarify, I want to, our program in short, the acronym CTE, you'll hear that a lot, but it refers to Career and Technical Education, and Clear Creek ISD has a very expansive and very expansive and broad offerings in this area. So that's actually why I'm here today to speak to you, because as you're entering high school, we want to make sure that you know all that we have to offer. And I have to say that we offer a lot more than the average district does. And I'll go over stuff with you, but it'll be a lot to keep track of as I'm going through the presentation. However, I'm just going to go over highlights and glean some of our special program offerings that we have available to you. But what I encourage you to do is just kind of take what you can from what I go over with you today, but then if something sparks your interest, all of this is listed in your educational planning guide, your course guide that is given to you for course selection. So everything is going to be in a lot more depth in that guide. I'm going to start off. Dr. Smith talked kind of introduced what the endorsement areas are. And so I'm going to talk to you a little bit about, well, what is under those areas? If I'm interested in getting a STEM endorsement, which is science, technology, engineering, and math, if I'm interested in doing that, what kinds of courses do I need to take to go in that route? What's available to me in high school? So I'm going to talk about those endorsement areas and get a little more specific about what that would look like to get one of those endorsements. So again, here are the 5 endorsements: the STEM, business and industry, public services, arts and humanities, and multidisciplinary. So I'm going to go over each one a little bit. Let's first look at our STEM endorsement. In order to get a STEM endorsement, you can take areas that are in our actual STEM, career and technical education cluster. And again, that's outlined in your EPG. You can also focus on, if you want to go that route by just focusing in the core math courses and taking some extra math courses, you can do that. Or you can take some extra science courses. And so what would that look like? I'll let you know a little bit of what we have available in the STEM cluster. Some of the photos that you'll see up here on the presentation, we have a very strong engineering program in Clear Creek ISD, and it's strong on all of the high schools. So regardless of what high school you go to, I do encourage you to look into the engineering program. A couple of these photos are some engineering students working on, they do a lot of independent projects, a lot of research, a lot of build and design on their own. The STEM cluster also branches out into the science area. Over to the right, you'll see a picture of a couple of students. These are our biotechnology students. So from engineering to biotechnology and the plethora of science and math courses, we're going pretty strong in the STEM area in the district. So I encourage you to explore that more. Another endorsement that we had is the business and industry endorsement. There's a lot that falls under business and industry. As you can see, these are the career clusters that we offer courses under. Now, these are just groupings. So I'll read through the groupings of everything that falls under business and industry. We'll have our agriculture science cluster, which is the agriculture, food, and natural resources. We have architecture and construction, arts, audio, video, and communications, business management and administration, finance, hospitality and tourism, information technology, manufacturing, marketing, transportation. And all of these are just course areas. In each one of these, we have a number of courses. Like just looking at the top one, agriculture, food, and natural resources. That listing here, that doesn't just mean we have a course. We have probably about 20 courses under the Ag Sciences area. Architecture and construction, we have many courses under that area. So these are just broad, general categories that we have courses in. And I'll kind of go over some of those a little bit more right here. Here's your Ag Science cluster. We actually just had our annual district livestock show and auction the night before last, and it was a record-setting auction. The students raised animals. They pick up animal projects. They raise these animals all year long. They compete, and then they sell their animals in the auction. The district raised, and for the students, the money goes to the students, over $250,000 through the sale of their animals. So all of this money is used, they take it, they use it for their scholarships, but these are a few snapshots from the show. You see the grand champion steer there going across the auction block to be sold, and then I included this picture with the little swine there because I thought it was cute. I thought it was a cute little pig. So. But like I say, we have a lot of courses. We have a strong ag program. I encourage you to take a look at that. You can talk to your counselors to see everything that's available under that area. This is our architecture and construction cluster, and then manufacturing is also a separate area. It looks like it runs together, but these are two different areas. We have a construction technology program. Students aren't only learning to build things, but they're learning how to design things. So they start off with the actual design phase, and then they build the things that they design. Also with metal manufacturing, you see a couple of photos here. We have welding included in that, and actually we're looking at, over the next few years, expanding our welding program. We've been hearing a lot from the petrochemical industry that is going through a boom right now. They are needing a lot of workforce, a lot of staff over the next 5 years. So they've been coming to us and saying, hey, you know, let's train up some students here because there's some very lucrative careers in the petrochemical industry. And these are the areas that want them trained in: welding, metal manufacturing, working with lathes, CNC mills. And so fortunately, Clear Creek had already gotten a jump start, and we have a program in that area, and we do plan on expanding that over the next 5 years. So I encourage you to take a look at that. Also under the business and industry endorsement, we have business-related classes, the finance cluster, business management, administration, and marketing. What you'll see here are a few photos of, this is actually a partnership that we have with JSC. The photo to the bottom left is a student that's working at an intern at one of the JSC branches that are is in Clear Springs High School. So he's working through the finance cluster and actually doing an internship. Next to that, you can see they're small because the picture's kind of small, but these are ADECA students. They're marketing students that have competed in the regional DECA competition. We had a strong showing this year. We have about 75 students that are moving on to state. So again, a lot of courses in the business area. We have accounting courses. We have computer courses. There's a lot there, so take a look at that. Another cluster area for the business and industry endorsement is information technology and arts, AV, and communications. This is a very diverse cluster. It goes all the way from the picture to your right here is our computer maintenance and technician program. You can actually take courses where you learn how to build computers. You learn how to fix computers. A lot of stuff. I've been really pleased with this program because where the teacher has taken it is they're not only building computers, just your average computer that you use right now, but they're actually building video games. Because what runs a video game? Computers run video games. They're building a lot of new and innovative things that are computer-based. Over to the left, you see a fellow standing there against a green screen, and then you see a couple of students working on computers. This is our audio-video program, where students learn about digital graphics, how to manipulate graphics, how to create animations. They're actually filming here, so it's a video production. You can see the camera up here in the center of the room. This is some of the equipment that the students are learning how to use and film in professional settings. And then with the animations and graphics that they create, they can actually finish out full products of movies and news shows and public service announcements. So that's very exciting also. Also in business and industry, we have our hospitality and tourism program. What you see here, a couple of photos. We have a very strong culinary arts program in Clear Creek ISD. One of the shots here is a gourmet dinner night that the students put on for community members. And we have a little close-up shot of one of the students preparing one of the dishes for that evening. So culinary arts is a lot of fun. I don't know if y'all have heard of the Culinary Arts Extravaganza. They do a lot of events all year long, but the Culinary Arts Extravaganza is held in April every year. And it's, I encourage you to look into it. We are having one this April. It's the students get together and they put on a huge show. You can buy tickets to it. We also get the fine arts program involved in it. We're going to have one of their jazz bands come and play. It's a lot of fun. It's hosted here at Clear Springs High School. And then actually over to the right here you have a student. We also have a hospitality program where it's an internship program. And students for the first couple of periods of the day, instead of coming to the campus, they actually go out to, we have spots in South Shore Harbor Hotel and Hilton. And students go out there and they do rotations and they do internships there, helping them get prepped for the day. So if you're interested in the hospitality industry, we have that available. Also under business and industry, we have our transportation cluster. Actually what falls under this is our Automotive Technology program. Automotive Technology is an awesome program. Not only do you learn how to work with engines, work with the computer systems in the cars, and repair, brakes, body, they do the whole thing in the curriculum of this program. But what we have here is we have a partnership with a lot of area dealerships and auto body shops in the area. And we have a few pictures here, but I would like to draw your attention to the one in the center here. I don't know how well you can see this. These are students that are sitting down at a table. Every year we have a signing event. We have oh good, he's he's bringing it, how about that for technology? Okay, so he's blowing it up a little bit. These students are actually signing on with dealerships and are going to be in paid internships and trained by people that have been specified at those dealerships to take these guys under their wing and train them up. They put a lot, the dealerships put a lot into these students because they are their investment for the future. They help them through college, and then their intention is they want them on as a technician, possibly service manager for their dealership. And right here, I'm just looking at a couple of the names. I think McCree Ford is signing on, Norman Freedy Chevrolet. We have a Discount Tire guy. But all of these are signing on internships. So, and that's a culmination. You go through the program, and as a senior, you can get into these internships. That's the thing with career and technical education that we try to do, is not only do we want you to take classes that are interesting and that you can learn applicable skills in high school, but we also want to connect you to the community and to the workforce and to a career. So we're always striving to make those connections happen. We want you to not only take a class, but we want you to be able to meet people in the industry. Yeah, it's priceless what the value of that is, because when you go to college, those guys will follow you. Some of these mentors that come out, they're handing out their business cards after they meet the students and see what they can do, and they're like, hey, after you finish whatever type of training it is. It could be a post-secondary training at a community college, it could be a technical college, it could be a 4-year university. Those mentors are saying, hey, after you finish your additional training, call me, because they're very impressed with what students are able to learn now at this level in high school. Public services. Now we're transitioning into another endorsement area. I was talking about the business and industry. This is public services. These are areas that fall under public services. We have education and training, human services, health science, and JROTC. So I'll talk a little bit about what we have to offer there. In our education and training cluster, we do offer programs for students that are interested in being teachers one day, or even interested in child development in general. We have programs where, and what you'll see here are a couple of pictures of students that are actually placed in internship spots out at our CCISD schools. So right here you have pictures of a high school student that is actually goes to, for 2 periods a day, goes to one of the elementary schools and kind of acts as a student teacher, working with the teacher that's in the classroom. And they're learning how to be teachers. They're learning how to work with kids. Also under this, that's the education and training cluster. We also have a human services cluster. There's a lot that goes under human services, but I think our highlight program, the one that stands out the most in Clear Creek, is our cosmetology program, which falls under human services. The center picture here is a picture that was taken in our training salon of a student that's actually working on someone's cutting and styling hair. It's an awesome program. It's located at Clearview High School, but any student on any campus can travel over there and take part of it. It is a junior-senior level program, so I wouldn't say it's something that you'd want to sign up for this year, but if you're interested in it, save space in your schedule and apply your sophomore year to get into this cosmetology program. They're doing some neat things over there. Also, in the public services endorsement area, we have health science. This is a huge area for our district. We have a lot of courses under health science. A couple of pictures that you'll see here is we have students working at Regency Care Villa. Over here they're doing internships, nursing internships. It's the picture to the right, and the picture in the center. You also would have the opportunity to just do clinical hospital rotations. If you're interested in the health science area, but you're not sure of what direction you want to go in it, you can get into the clinical rotation program and look at a little bit of everything. They rotate through operating rooms, they rotate through respiratory care, they rotate through intake. They just learn all of the operations of the hospital, and Clear Lake is one of our is one of our spots there. They're great supporters of the program. There's also some independent study opportunities where you can work with mentors one-on-one. We also have a pharmacy tech program where you can get certified as a pharmacy technician. And actually, our speaker here today, Christy, is actually in the Pharm Tech program this year here at Clear Springs High School. So she didn't tell you, but she's going to be majoring in pre-med whenever she starts college. So I think she enjoyed the Pharm Tech program going in it. So yeah, it's a great opportunity is what she's saying right here. I'm sure you've learned a lot through that farm.
Insane amounts.
So, okay, going into another endorsement area, we have the arts and humanities. And this is, if you're not planning on pursuing something very technical or like career specific, at this time it's a great time in your life to just explore different areas. So there's opportunities for that also. You don't have to stay in the technical field. Under arts and humanities, you can concentrate in the social studies area. You can concentrate in, it says languages other than English, but you probably know it as foreign language. So you can concentrate in the languages or in the fine arts area. Clear Creek ISD has a lot to offer in fine arts. And when you think of the arts, for some folks, one particular thing may come in mind, but it's a very broad area. You can concentrate in the visual arts, performing arts, there's band, orchestra, marching band, there's dance, theater. So those are some things that you would want to look into. And the thing is, we talk about these endorsements. You may be interested in getting an endorsement in STEM, but what's great about the new graduation plan is that you can still be involved in the arts, but take those classes in engineering and in science to where you can get a STEM endorsement also. There's going to be room in your schedule to do more than one thing. So we always encourage students to follow their passion, and arts often is that passion. The other endorsement area is Multidisciplinary Studies. This is the last endorsement area, and it's kind of a catch-all. If you're not interested, or if you're not sure what path you want to follow, if you're not sure that you want to go into one of those business and industry areas or in a STEM area, then you will have this high school opportunity to explore a little bit of everything. And that's what the Multidisciplinary Studies endorsement offers. Now, it does still encourage you, as you can see, one of the options is for courses among for advanced courses among endorsement areas, which means you would still have to spend a little time in that endorsement area to get to an advanced course. But your whole track of electives doesn't have to be in that area. So if you do want to sample, if you're totally unsure of what you want to do, multidisciplinary is there. But I do highly recommend the endorsements that provide more specific paths. Take a look at that, because that can really get you on track to not only help discover the career you're interested in, but even if you're looking at college, it'll help you determine what you want to major in whenever you go there. So that's an overview of the endorsements. I know it's a lot. I just kind of glazed over it. But we are going to talk a little bit more about graduation requirements a little more specifically, and what you need to do not only to earn an endorsement, but what do you need to do to graduate. And so I'd like to introduce Ms. Susie Thomas. She's our Director of Student Support Services, who oversees the counseling department, and she'll talk to you a little bit more about graduation requirements. Susie Thomas.
Good morning. I know y'all have already received a great deal of information, but I'm going to be sharing a little bit more with you. So hopefully that sun stays behind the clouds, and we're going to continue on. But as Dr. Smith mentioned yesterday, The final vote from the state board came in. That information was rolling in from Austin. And we are here today to share the latest with you. And I am looking forward to updating the counselors Monday morning at 8 o'clock. They have been receiving some little updates, but they're going to receive the final update on Monday so that they can begin working with the students individually as we get into course selection and in course registration. I'm working both with the intermediate and high school counselors on all of the updates. So as the 8th graders are still at the intermediate campus, please don't have any fear that your intermediate counselor doesn't know what's going on at the high school, because they're getting the information just like the high school counselors. All right, so we'll jump right into House Bill 5 and the graduation requirements. And I'm going to give you a visual and then break it down into 3 different parts and talk a little bit further about each one. So at the bottom, we have what is called the Foundation High School Program. It's a total of 22 credits. Students earn credits by passing their courses every semester. They get a half credit for every course every semester. So by the end of a full year course, they will have earned 1 full credit for one course. So 22 credits is the foundation. Everyone must have the Foundation High School program. And then beyond that, we look to see the endorsements, which you've already heard a great deal of information about all of the choices. With the endorsements, there is an additional math and science required for each endorsement, plus endorsement requirements. Those endorsement requirements include the electives that go along with the specific endorsement. So we do have the 5 different endorsements. I'm not going to go into detail about them, although I will explain to you that students entering high school must specify which endorsement that they are going to identify with their course registration. So I know that that's a tough thing to chew on, especially deciding for the rest of their high school career. High school will go by fast, I promise, but once you lock into an endorsement, the students do have an opportunity to change that endorsement. We will have course registration every year, so they're going to go through this process for the next 4 years, and they will have that opportunity to make an adjustment to which endorsement that they choose. And again, we want for the students to explore as many opportunities as they can. Beyond that, the 3rd level, we have what is called the Distinguished Level of Achievement. Also 26 credits, just like the endorsements have 26 credits. The difference between the Distinguished Level of Achievement is that the students must graduate with Algebra 2. And so we'll talk about specific graduation requirements, kind of what that looks like. And I have also at the top that the students are eligible for the top 10% automatic admissions. And I'll talk a little bit more when I get to that slide. So the STAR EOC, Dr. Smith had mentioned, we went from 15 down to 5. That's an exciting piece of this House Bill 5. The courses with EOCs, the end of course exams, include English 1, English 2, Algebra 1, Biology, and U.S. History. The students must score a level 2 satisfactory scale score in each of the subject areas. That scale score is different based upon which course or exam that they're taking. So I can't specify what is that magic number, but it is called a level 2 satisfactory score. So going back, looking at the Foundation High School program, again, 22 state credits. The students here in this room, we will not be focused on just the foundation program, but knowing the little bits and pieces that are required within the Foundation High School program include 4 credits in English, 3 credits in math, 3 credits in science, 3 credits in social studies, 2 credits in languages other than English, 1 credit in PE, 1 credit in fine arts, and 5 elective credits. So we get to the endorsement. Here's where we really want the student to focus on what is their passion, what do they want to do. And so looking at your next door neighbor, that may look totally different. We do not want the students to identify based upon what their friends are taking. It's important that they focus on themselves, because what they're doing now can lead to the workforce ready or post-secondary opportunities that if they had not experienced this in high school, they get out into the real world and may have to jump into it for the first time. So we want them to experience that while they're in high school. So again, I reiterate that we do have an additional math, an additional science, and the endorsement requirements for a total of 26 credits. The distinguished level of achievement, again, we're talking about the Foundation High School program, the 22 credits plus the endorsement credits. That includes the Algebra 2. And I do see that a good majority of our students will be distinguished level of achievement. It's not to say that they have to have that Algebra 2 because they may be exploring another avenue in their math area, but I do see that as of right now, our students are required to take that Algebra 2 if they're already in high school on the old plans. So Algebra 2 would be required for the distinguished level of achievement. And I mentioned to you about the college automatic admissions. The top 10%, if your class rank falls in the top 10% and you are on the distinguished level of achievement, then you are eligible for automatic admissions in the state of Texas for any public university. With the exception of UT, we know that they've kind of reduced their requirements. That varies every year, and they make that announcement in September of every year for the following year's class. Right now it's the top 7% for UT. Okay, this slide here is a little bit hard to read. We're going to zoom it in, but I did some research on the 2013 graduates from CCISD, which was just last year, the top 20 colleges that our students applied to. And I looked at how many years of English, math, science, social studies, and LOTE would be required for admissions. As you can see down the list, all require 4 units of English. The math varies mostly between 3 and 4. The number that I have in parentheses is what the college recommends. Although the requirement is the first number, what's recommended is in parentheses. So I do want to emphasize that if a college is saying this is recommended, and you're going to go up through a panel of trying to go through the review board, and they look at the courses that you took, again, it's going to be based upon what you have decided that was your pathway. Science, again, mostly 3s to 4. Social studies, it varies from 0 all the way through 4. And languages other than English, again, it varies 0 through 4. 2 being the standard, and then 3 being recommended at some of the colleges. So as you are picking your endorsements, yes, we want the students to follow their passion. We want them to take the classes that they're interested in, but we also have to keep in mind, what does that mean for the next step in life? It's not just about what we're doing here in high school, but beyond high school. Where is that going to take me? Where is it going to lead me? So we want the students to keep in mind their future and to actually do the research. In 8th grade, you would be surprised that they're going through their career explorations class, and they're talking about which colleges would I like to add to my list. The counselors are going in the classrooms, they're doing classroom guidance, and they're having those conversations already. So I recommend that the students take a look at that year by year as they're planning their 4-year plan. All right, so the course registration information, we are about to embark on the course registration process. I encourage the parents, students, I've given the website here. On the home page of the website for parents, we have additional information of all of the meetings coming up, the breakdown of various things posted on the web, because you're going to be attending campus parent nights, course fairs, and you'll really get into to see what each campus has to offer. So I encourage you to go there to look for more information. And by the way, if you have a current student already in high school, is anybody out there in that boat? Students already in high school? If you do, would like to share with you that we have some informational sessions on this Monday night here at Clear Springs Auditorium at 6:30 p.m., one on Wednesday night at Clear Lake at 6:30 p.m. in the auditorium there. Those informational session nights are to inform students who are currently in high school that may continue to follow their current graduation plans, but yet may have some opportunities and some flexibility under the new House Bill 5. So we'll be answering questions for current high school students on Monday and Wednesday night. All right, so the educational planning guide, you've heard this being said all night or all day long, and your child will receive a copy of this beginning February 10th, 11th, 12th, or possibly the 13th. The high school counselors will be coming down to the intermediates, talking about all of the courses that are available, the course registration process. They will give them additional information, handouts, but I wanted to give you a visual. The educational planning guide is actually on the website. So again, you go to the home page for students, educational planning guides, and it's right there. Naviance Family Connection. If you've not heard of this before, I would like for you to take a moment to make a note of this and do some additional research, possibly communicate with your campus counselor to create a parent account. And the Naviance Family Connection is a tool that we utilize beginning in 6th grade. This is just a quick snapshot. I know that you can't really see that very well, but it's a student's homepage that they have different tabs going across the top. My Planner, there are tasks associated with the students as they complete things starting in 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, all the way through 12th grade. And those tasks are outlined. I have them here on the screen. So in 6th grade, when students get their accounts, they will be doing the learning style inventory. They will also start working on their success planner, and they will dive into the program itself. 7th grade, they add some career investigations, along with doing the career key, which is a survey. They continue with their success planner. And then in 8th grade, as you can see, we're building upon that. So if they've not had the opportunity yet, they will be doing so here this spring to work on their 4-year plans. They have a career cluster survey finder and a strengths explorer. And those two things, along with the career key from 7th grade, should help the student identify what their passion is, what their strengths are, what they're good in, because it will narrow it down to the actual career cluster. So if you think about just pulling something out of a hat and all of these endorsements, all of these options, we do need to relate it to what strengths does your child or the student own, and how can we make those decisions based upon what the inventories are telling us. So they will be doing some goal setting. There's an activity called My Game Plan, and it takes them into what are their post-secondary options, what would they like to do beyond high school. They will update the My Game Plan every year, but again, they're going to dig into what are some college and career investigations. Going into high school, again, they may do some repetitive activities such as the 4-year plan. We revisit that every single year. The success planner, the goal setting, My Game Plan, college and career investigations. They have additional career components, the career interest profiler, the do what you are personality profiler. Then there's what's called method test prep. It's an SAT, ACT prep work. It's a communication tool. Counselors really get some information out to students, to parents, and they communicate as far as what's going on in the world of the counseling office. They sign up for college visits. When the college reps come to the high school campus, the students can sign up. They sign up through their Naviance account. They look for enrichment programs. What are some summer opportunities? What can they get involved in the summer? They work on their resume, the academic resume that begins, some of them probably have started that academic resume, but really when colleges are looking for what has the student done, they're looking for 9th grade through 12th grade. And so they report that there. They do some journaling. There's some additional resource and links. But in the right-hand column, you can see our 12th graders are fully engaged in the program because not only are they doing all of the activities, and building up to, okay, it's time to now apply for college. It's a time to apply for scholarships. All that information is housed in Naviance. They ask for their teacher recommendations through Naviance. They do their graduation survey. So again, it's a tool that they are utilizing from grade 6 all the way through 12. Students can access Naviance even beyond graduation. And I do hear of graduates that come back and they use that, and they really enjoy that program. So I had mentioned that parents may have accounts. And I encourage you to get an account, because as your child will be doing their four-year planning, we're going to ask that the parents go into their parent account and go through the approval process through their Naviance account. So again, if you have not heard of that, if you need to learn more, please contact your campus counselor. You've already heard twice today about activity involvement, so I will leave you with the fact that there are lots and lots of opportunities for students, whether it be a club, an organization, summer enrichment, leadership opportunities, service opportunities, and mentorship programs. Again, it's not about all of the courses that the students have taken, but what have you done in addition to? So we're looking for the well-rounded student. The more involved that you are, the more successful that you will be. So again, thank you for coming out today, and I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Bachberg.
Thank you, Ms. Thomas. In addition to all the options that you just saw for endorsements, one thing that we spend a lot of time talking about in CCISD is that we pride ourselves on giving students options, that we have a place for every student that comes to the table. And so in addition to our 5 comprehensive high schools that you probably are already aware of, we have a couple of alternates for students, some options, and one of those is Clearview High School. It's been mentioned a couple of times today. The cosmetology program is housed over there. Clearview High School is a much smaller high school program, and for a student who may have trouble managing the size of a large high school, this might be a good option for them. The student-teacher ratio is much smaller. It does take application to get into Clearview, and just like all of these programs that we will be mentioning, there is more information available through your child's counselor. One other option that we have is Clear Horizons Early College High School, which is housed out at St. Jacinta Junior College South. The unique thing about Clear Horizons is that a student who goes through the high school program there at Clear Horizons in 4 years not only graduates with a high school diploma, but also at that point will have a 2-year associate's degree and 60 hours of college credit. So it's a very unique program. It is an application program chosen by lottery, but certainly another unique opportunity for students. And if you, once again, feel like your student would like that opportunity and that would be a good spot for them, be sure and get some more information from your child's counselor. In addition to our high schools, we do have a couple of other options for credits. Any student who's enrolled in any of our high schools can also attend or enroll in Clear Stars Evening Education. Clear Stars is housed at Clearview High School, and it allows students who would like to take either some extra courses to get ahead and or make up credit maybe that they had lost. This could go along with somebody who's really wanting to take extra courses at their high school in the areas of their passion and their interest, and so they can't quite fit everything in, so now they have another opportunity if they choose to go to night school 2 nights a week and get an extra half credit. The courses for Clear Stars are limited. Not every course that is available on the main campus is available through Clear Stars, but there are some options there, and there is a fee for those courses. The other option for additional coursework is Clear Access Virtual High School, and this is similar to Clear Stars in that you can pick up extra credits, new credit or making up credit that you may have lost Once again, a limited number of courses are offered, but this gives students another option in addition to, say, summer school for making up credit or taking classes at their current high school in their area of passion, and in those classes that they're not able to fit in their schedule, taking through Clear Access. So there's lots of options there, lots of information about each one. And as you go through not just your registration process, but each year when you're looking at the next year's plan, just keep those options in mind. One very exciting initiative that you have likely already heard about is our Latitude to Learn initiative. It's our one-to-one tablet initiative. And as incoming ninth graders next year, your ninth grader will be receiving a tablet with your approval. We have had a few decline that option, but with parent approval, they will be receiving a tablet. This is something new and exciting just on the ground this year. We just had deployment at the high school level for current 9th and 10th graders this past January, and we're just now phasing it in. We have phase 3 coming up in the fall. And the idea here is to not only create more opportunities for innovation for teachers and students, but also to increase the level of personalized learning that is going on. That program, as I said, we're about 6 months into it, so it's somewhat in its infancy, but we are looking forward to growing that. There will be parent information nights for incoming ninth graders in the early fall prior to any deployment, because there are a lot of details about the Latitude to Learn initiative that we would not be able to cover today in the amount of time that we've allotted. So just something to think about. Know that that's coming. You have an information packet. If you picked it up, it might answer some of your general questions about that. And with that being said, that ends the formal part of our program. As I mentioned at the beginning, we do want to give you the opportunity, if you have any questions that maybe we can get answered for you, we'd be glad to try to take those at this time.